From Pacifica, this is Democracy Now!
If you don't like what they do, you can fire them. I like being able to fire people who provide services to me.
Republican presidential hopeful Mitt Romney under fire in New Hampshire as he tries to tout his business experience. We'll look at how his private equity firm Bain Capital drove a Kansas City steel plant into bankruptcy, leading to hundreds of layoffs and a federal bailout. Bain still walked away with millions of dollars in profits. We'll speak with a Kansas City worker who lost his job. But first, 10 years ago this week, the U.S. began its first imprisonment of foreign detainees at Guantanamo. Prisoners there have begun a hunger strike. We'll go to London to speak with former Guantanamo prisoner Omar Derez. All that and more coming up. Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. Polls have opened in New Hampshire, the site of the nation's first presidential primary. Former Massachusetts Governor Mitt Romney is widely expected to win, even though he's coming under increasing scrutiny over his record heading up the private equity firm Bain Capital. On Monday, Romney made an offhand remark about how he enjoys firing people. Romney made the comment as he touted his health policy as a means to increase competition among health insurers.
I want individuals to have their own insurance. That means the insurance company will have an incentive to keep you healthy. It also means that if you don't like what they do, you can fire them. I like being able to fire people who provide services to me.
Former Utah Governor John Huntsman responded to Romney's statement by saying, quote, "Governor Romney enjoys firing people. I enjoy creating jobs." Huntsman, who did not campaign in Iowa, has been surging in the New Hampshire polls and has received endorsements from two key newspapers, the Concord Monitor and the Boston Globe. Some analysts say Huntsman could place as high as second. 9 ballots were cast in New Hampshire's Dixville Notch just after midnight. Local resident Tom Tillotson announced who won.
So now we have two, Romney and, maybe they'll be on the same ticket together, who knows. But yeah, it was, Huntsman, I think everybody was expecting Romney to win here and Huntsman to maybe get a vote. He had my vote going in, so somebody else agreed with me.
Coming in second in Dixville Notch with 1 vote apiece were Newt Gingrich and Ron Paul. While the nation's been focused on New Hampshire, Texas Governor Rick Perry spent Monday campaigning in South Carolina.
I'll just ask you for one thing. Early voting starts today. I'd appreciate your support, and if you wait until the 21st, let's just put it this way. Between now and the 21st, you have my back in South Carolina. The next 4 years, I'll have your back in Washington, D.C.
In a major shakeup inside the Obama administration, White House Chief of Staff William Daley announced his resignation Monday, just over a year after taking the position. He'll be replaced by Jack Lew, head of the Office of Management and Budget. President Obama praised Jack Lew's public service.
Jack's economic advice has been invaluable, and he has my complete trust, both because of his mastery of the numbers, but because of the values behind those numbers. Ever since he began his career in public service as a top aide to Speaker Tip O'Neill, Jack has fought for an America where hard work and responsibility pay off, a place where everybody gets a fair shot. Everybody does their fair share, and everybody plays by the same rules. And that belief is reflected in every decision that Jack makes.
After serving as budget director in the Clinton administration, Lew became chief operating officer of Citigroup Alternative Investments in 2008. The Progressive Change Campaign Committee criticized Obama for selecting Lew because his unit at Citigroup heavily invested in a hedge fund that bet on the housing market to collapse. The International Atomic Energy Agency has confirmed Iran's claim it has begun enriching uranium in an underground bunker in a mountain near the city of Qom. The IAEA said all the nuclear material in the facility remains under the agency's surveillance. The United States criticized Iran's move, which comes at a time of heightened tensions between the two nations. On Monday, State Department spokesperson Victoria Nuland called on Iran to suspend its enrichment activities.
Obviously, if they are enriching at Fordo to 20%, this is a further escalation of their ongoing violations with regard to their nuclear obligations, including the legally binding UN Security Council resolutions. So obviously we call on Iran once again to suspend enrichment activities, cooperate fully with the IAEA, and immediately comply with all Security Council and IAEA Board of Governors resolutions.
In his first public address since June, Syrian President Bashar al-Assad blamed a foreign conspiracy and terrorists for the 10-month-old popular uprising that threatens his rule. Assad denied there was a government policy to shoot demonstrators, but vowed to strike terrorists with an iron fist. Over the past 10 months, Syrian security forces have killed more than 5,000 civilians.
Do not close the door for the solutions or suggestions, and we do not close the door for any Arab initiative, as they respect Syrian sovereignty and the freedom of our decision and care for the unity of the nation.
Meanwhile, new video was posted online Monday, purportedly from the Syrian city of Homs. It shows protesters being dispersed by gunfire as they escort a car carrying Arab League monitors. In Nigeria, a nationwide strike against soaring fuel costs has entered its second day, shutting down banks, schools, and government buildings. On Monday, police shot dead at least 3 protesters and wounded more than 24 after firing live ammunition and tear gas to disperse demonstrations in Lagos and the largest northern city of Kano. The musician Femi Kuti, the son of the late Fela Kuti, took part in the strike in Lagos.
If it is government of the people, by the people, no need to copy America. Let everybody bring their salary to the minimum wage of 18,000 naira.
A Mexican magazine has revealed the Mexican government allowed a group of undercover U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration agents and their Colombian informant to launder millions in cash for a powerful Mexican drug trafficker and his Colombian cocaine supplier. According to the magazine Amicus, the group of officials conducted at least 15 wire transfers to banks in the United States, Canada, and China, and smuggled and laundered about $2.5 million in the United States. They lost track of much of that money. Burmese opposition leader, the Nobel Peace Laureate Aung San Suu Kyi, has confirmed she will run for a parliamentary seat in April. She'll seek a seat in the suburban Rangoon, Burma's largest city, in her hometown. She was under house arrest during the most recent elections in November 2010, which were boycotted by her National League for Democracy party, in part because she was barred from participating. The Obama administration is urging a federal court to throw out a lawsuit filed by a group of Guatemalans who had been unknowingly exposed to syphilis, gonorrhea, and other sexually transmitted diseases by U.S. researchers in the 1940s. In a filing by the Justice Department, the administration described the experiments as unethical and a, quote, terrible wrong. But the administration argued sovereign immunity protects federal health officials from litigation stemming from the study. Guatemalan officials said last month they have found over 2,000 people were involved in the experiments conducted from 1946 to 1948. In environmental news, the Obama administration's banned new uranium mining claims around the Grand Canyon for the next 20 years. The decision will protect 1 million acres of public lands from any new hard rock mining. Existing mining operations would continue. In news from California, 14 tractors and several trailers were destroyed in a large fire Sunday at the Harris Farms cattle operation, California's largest beef processor. Investigators say they believe arson suspected in the blaze. A message posted on the site directaction.info claimed the fire was set to protest factory farming. And the artist and activist Dara Greenwald has died at the age of 40 from cancer. She was a member of the Just Seeds Artists Collective and the co-editor of the book Signs of Change, Social Movement Culture's 1960s until now. And those are some of the headlines. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report.